PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets everywhere. Holy cow. Tonight I'm here to keep you company and keep your human companions company while they fall asleep, pets. And you could, but I'm here to entertain you just as or I guess entertain's the wrong word for humans or pets. I'm here to encourage more petting of pets. Whether it's actual physical petting or, making petting-esque sounds like, oh boy, good job today. Great swimming. Have I told you lately that I love your fins or your tail or insert a quality of a random pet here? And really, and I'm not kidding about this part, expressing our love of pets tonight. That's one of the things I'm talking about as I try to unsuccessfully introduce a sleep podcast called Sleep With Me that's here to keep you company because you deserve a good night's sleep. And this podcast is here because of that. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, and it almost works for no one on the first try, even pets. So give it a few tries to see how it goes. This isn't a show so much to put you to sleep, but to take your mind off stuff and keep you company in the deep, dark night while you fall asleep. It's a podcast you don't really listen to, but there's also no pressure to fall asleep because I'm here for an over an hour, because I'm not known for my pronunciation, but I'm here for over an hour. And what we got coming up is support. That's how the show comes out for free twice a week. Then there'll be a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then it'll be our episodically modular story, Make Great Pets, about how great pets, of course, how great pets are. Yes, pets, your greatness, once again, being confirmed. You're doing a great job. And it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to put you to sleep. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots here. I put our annual subscriptions on sale, 16% off, still on sale to the end of April, but it backfired. So I'd love to hear feedback. Actually, we still need monthly patrons. So it's not, it was just a sale to say, hey, if you want to sign up as an annual patron, I don't know if that's what backfired. I know it's a tough time right now, believe me. So I totally understand if you could no longer be a patron, and I want to keep the podcast coming out twice a week free for everybody. So if you're in a position to be a patron or an annual patron, monthly or annual, it's a huge, huge support. But somehow putting stuff on sale, I don't know. So if you're here in this spot, whether you become a monthly patron or an annual patron, let me know because it's huge. And I didn't think by doing a sale, we'd lose patrons. People did sign up, but mostly they were existing patrons. But if you sign up now as an annual patron, you get 16% off between now and the end of April. But if you sign up for as a monthly patron, it's a huge help too. It doesn't make a difference. You get the same ton of bonus content. There's 1,700 episodes, ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, bonus content in the $5 patron feed, and then over 2,000 something in the $10 and $20 patron feed. You can listen in most podcast apps, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Podcast Addict, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, tons of other ones, and you get to support the show that's putting you to sleep right now. You don't have to listen to me asking for support either or any sponsor or anything like that. But best of all, you're part of the family. Sign up for our Discord. That's where our Patreon community is. And let me know, most of all, so I can say thank you for supporting the work me and all the other people that work on the show put into the show, and for keeping this podcast out there. I couldn't do it without you, really. And if you want to sign up now, believe me, think about becoming an annual patron just to save the 16%. But either way, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron, and let me know about it if you want to. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone, the one part of the podcast in each here is where I pop my peas, if you please. I thank the listeners who supported the sponsors. That's how we're able to bring you this free podcast, over 500 episodes in the archives, free whenever you need it or you want it. Is thanks to those listeners who support the sponsors, and I want to thank Chris, who got a pair of sleep phones. Let me know about it, shared it on social media. So thank you, Chris, for supporting the show. Sleep phones, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep Sleep Phones. Use Sleep With Me to get a little bit off your order. If you support a sponsor, let me know about Fill Out the Form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Thank you, Chris. Second part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need right now. If you're having a tough time, use the links in the show notes. There's links to resources, including international resources you can connect with right now. It's also about being a part of positive change, being a part of communities, not just saying Black Lives Matter, not just saying stop AAPI hate, not just saying support Ukraine, but learning more, taking steps. There's links to resources where you could do so in the show notes. And the last part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is something I support. You've heard me talk about it before. That's my friend Harris over at Sleep Whispers and Calm History. If you want to relax with curious moments from history, check out the new podcast, Calm History. That's CALM History. Each episode is narrated in a calm voice to help you relax or fall asleep. You get to travel back in time to the global history of rubber, Joan of Arc, Henry Ford, Marco Polo, Jackie Robinson, and Easter Island, and so much more. All you have to do is search your podcast player for Calm History or use the link at silkpodcasts.com. It'll be in our show notes. That's Calm History. So if you ever used to fall asleep in history history class, now's your opportunity to use a podcast to do the same thing that's designed to do it. Check out Calm History from my good friend Harris. Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. If you need sleep phones, like I said, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep-phones. Use that link and use the promo code SLEEPWITHME. You'll get $5 off your order. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts you're thinking about, things on your mind. So thoughts, thinking thoughts, thoughts you've thought before, thoughts about the past, present, or future. As I said incorrectly before, thinking, thoughting thoughts. Can you thought a thought? Like here, because, I guess that's not a word. I was thinking of like when you should, there's a term called shoulding yourself or, shoulding other people. And then I was like, is there a shot? What's shot? Well, it's a combination. I guess that's what it more is. You'd say, well, it's more of a shot. What's a shot? Because it doesn't sound like you should be talking about on a sleep podcast. And I'd say a shot is a should thought, a should combined with a thought that you should, a shot. You've been, because what does it have to do? Well, I was thinking of think, thought, or think, thunk, thought, and then shot popped in my brain. And it said to me, believe it or not, it said I should be a word, a shot. And I had thought of it. So that's why I said shot. I don't know, it doesn't sound like something in a historical speech they should be saying. Once upon a time, I shot the original sleep podcaster. Wait, that's me. But maybe in a speech you say, well, I shot many years ago, I shot to myself, This is actually true of the genesis of sleep. I should make a sleep podcast. I love how you can do anything with podcasts. And then it was many years later that I actually made Sleep With Me, because they said, that sounds like something I should do. No, that's not how it should go. That was actually like a positive shot, because it was something I should have done, but I was like, yeah, that sounds too scary. Sounds like too much work. Oh, but if thoughts are keeping you awake, sorry about that. I made it about, there I go again. I said, I should make this about me. I shot it. I said, what about it? Like, it does sound like it has some action. Like, I shot that, man. Like, I associated with dunking a basketball, though that's not something I can do. I mean, I could do it on one of those rims for kids, that height. It's already been shot, and, the shot in Freud, it's already been shot in, or shot in Freud, but it's already been shot. This thought, already been shot. Okay, sorry if you're new. This happens a lot because whether it's thoughts, it could be feelings, emotions coming up for you related to those thoughts, or related to my thoughts at this point. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could have a lot of should thoughts going through your head that you should be doing this in the past or the present or the future. But you could have something coming up or just going through something, whatever it is. And the only reason I bring all that stuff up or talk about my own, what goes on in between my ears is because I want you to know you're not alone in the deep, dark night. It's important to know, like, whatever it is you're going through, there's probably someone listening right now that's either going through the same thing or going through something similar or who can relate to how it feels. A lot of us can relate to how it feels. That's why I call it the deep, dark night, because there's feelings that come with that, not being able to sleep. I just was dealing with it last night, and I was like, I cannot look at what time it is because I have no idea if it's too early or too late. I just know that I've woken up and my alarm didn't go off, and I'm in a conundrum now. So that's one part of why I make the show, because I know how it feels, and a lot of other people who are listening right now know how it feels. And you deserve a place you can get some rest. You deserve a bedtime you don't need to dread, a bedtime you could look forward to or at least feel neutral about. And you deserve the rest you need so your life is more manageable. That's what this show is about. And even if you never listen to this podcast again, you could check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you and see what's up on there. Like, check that out, because it doesn't change the fact you deserve a good night's sleep. And I hope if I can't provide it for you, another sleep podcaster or some other kind of sleepy audio can. So that's why I make the show. What I do is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. So I'll go off topic. I'll get mixed up. I'll forget what I was talking about. And then I'll double back and I'll say, well, what was I talking about? And then I'll repeat myself, and now I've already forgotten. But it's all to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so you could fall asleep. So that means this is a podcast you kind of just barely listen to. And so some people could be getting frustrated right now if you're new, because you're like, when does this sleepy stuff start? Or when do you go into a soothing bedtime story about lily pads and moonlight and gentle lapping on the lily pad? And I say, well, that sounds pretty nice. That's a nice image to hold in my mind. But that's not really, this podcast would be like, I don't know, that's not this show. So this show, what was I saying? Oh, this is a podcast you just barely listen to. So I guess if there was lapping on a lily pad, I mean, that sounds like something that's prime for, I mean, that's some nice alliteration. Is that alliteration? So that's more Sleep With Me. So lapping on a lily pad. They'd say, like, what about napping on a lily pad? That's even better. Is there well, I guess a life-size lily pad would be an actual lily pad. But is there some sort of, like, one of those luxury resorts you only see in glossy, the ones that have the bungalows out on the water? I wonder if any of those have like a nice bog, the sleepy bog with gigantic non-real lily pads, obviously, unless they discover, or it's been discovered, that giant lily pads, like that could be some sort of, the lily pads are like, it's great when you sleep on us, humans. It is some sort of symbiotic thing. I mean, I know we can't interview frogs or dragonflies. I mean, though it's come up on this podcast before, but I'd love to get, like it'd say, and they'd say overrated, man. Then another frog would say, it's the best. Of all the things being a frog, I'd say sleeping on actually, by the way, Scooter, we don't actually sleep on the lily pads. You realize that? Obviously, I don't realize that because that's, like I said, that would be actually not a great place for us to sleep. Oh, okay. Well, have you ever tried it? Yeah, my cousin Bart tried it, and we had told him there's a reason we're not inclined to sleep on lily pads, but Bart had to do it Bart's way. Also, Bart was the one frog that watched too much Simpsons and, much like you, Scooter, modeled Bart's life after what he saw on television. So it didn't work out. Oh. But didn't you, also, Scooter, I'm not a real frog. I'm a figment of your imagination. So that's the answer to that other question where you said, didn't you just say sleeping on a frog or sleeping on a lily pad? Don't sleep on frogs. Sleep to frog noises, but please don't sleep on any frogs. No, I understand that. That was just my mispronunciation. But I get it now. Because the other frog that slept on lily pads was also a figment of my imagination. Correct. I was just here to fill you in on some facts. So you're a fact-based figment of my imagination, fact-based figment, like fictional figment frog. Okay, so this is a podcast. Oh, by the way, this is a podcast you just barely listen to. So some people listen to it at a mumble or turned real down low. But some people are listening to it while they wind down and they get comfortable in bed. Some people listen to it during, when they need a break. But you don't have to obviously pay 100% attention to what I'm saying because you just heard what just went on. So it's a podcast you just barely listen to. Also, it's not really here to put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. That's why the show is over an hour. There's no pressure to fall asleep. There's people listening who can't sleep. So I'm here for them. And I'm here for you, whether you're awake or asleep. But I'm really here to be your boyfriend, your boy-bae, your boy-sib, your boy-bud, your boy-burr, your neighbor, your boyfriend, your boy-bestie. To keep you company, and then you just stop listening at some point. And maybe this one, you'd say, like, if you're at breakfast and your partner or someone in your life or your roommate or your imaginary frog is, they say, well, how was that sleep podcast last night? I don't know. He was talking about lily pads again. What was he talking about? I don't know. I mean, I think he said if we want to know if he stayed at a hotel and he's not under one of those other fictional names like Noir Chardonnay, he said he may be staying, or he said if he ever develops a singing voice, he'll be Lillipod. Maybe when he's staying in Northern Europe, he'll check into a hotel under Lillipod. Like with multiple A's. Oh, okay. You sure that's what I thought he was talking, maybe that's not, I don't know. Maybe that was a dream. So this is a podcast that keeps you company, takes your mind off of stuff while you fall asleep. Whatever's keeping you awake, I'm fairly confident through this just nonsense we just went through that you probably weren't thinking about whatever was keeping you awake. So that's cool. Now, this show is not everybody's cup of tea. I don't know but so give it a few tries. That's just what like a million people have probably said to me. Hey, it took 2 or 3 tries to get used to you. And then I realized, this show never starts, but it's always going. And you say, yeah, it's, I'm the person that invented, when I do have a theme park, I don't think there's any way we could do it, but maybe just for napping. Yeah, like at a pool, like at a lily pool. We'll have whatever lily pads. I'd like to sleep on one day. I mean, it won't go on a t-shirt or it doesn't go on a pillow, but I'd like to sleep on a lily pad one day. And say, what are some fantasies you have? And then I say, wow, really? No wonder you make a sleep podcast. That's your fantasy. Well, one of them. But yeah, that's thing I wonder. I wonder when I'll sleep on a sleep podcast. I couldn't make it into a rhyme, but okay, show you don't really listen to, doesn't put you to sleep. Give us some more. Most people don't like you on the first couple tries they listen to. Some people really loathe you so much that they go to another website to see. Tell us some more good news. Well, the show is structured in a very specific way to benefit the most people it can, and it is adjustable. So I'll just explain to you the structure of the show so you know. If you're new, you probably want to know that. You're probably doubtful or skeptical, which is totally normal. I mean, after everything I said, but also if you're like me and a lot of other listeners, you probably tried a ton of stuff to put you to sleep, so why wouldn't you be skeptical or doubtful? I don't blame you one bit. It makes perfect sense. So structure show starts out with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So you feel seen and you say, I think I could check that podcast out. So that's that part. Then there's support from sponsors or listeners or both. And that's how the show comes out twice a week for free. Believe it or not, there's a whole team of people that work on the show. While it may sound like I just sit down and record the episodes and put them out, it does. I know it's mind-boggling. But it does take a lot of work. That's what makes the show sound free and easy. So that's why there's support for the show, so it can be free. Then there's support for listeners. Then there's an intro, which we're almost done with. That's around 10 to 20 minutes long, where I introduce the podcast unsuccessfully, which we've seen pretty well tonight. But the intro is meant, the reason it goes on and on and on, it's a show within a show. Or the beginning of the podcast, it's meant to ease you into bedtime. So while there are a few people that are falling asleep and we're really happy for them, most people are listening or easing into bedtime. They're either getting ready for bed, they're doing other wind-down activities, or they're in bed getting comfortable. And on behalf of any pets, maybe they're petting their pets or like looking at them and like giving them loving eyes. You know, writing them, here's something I've never done. No, I have, I think. Write your pet a letter. Give a pet a letter day. So, yeah, that's that part. So that's the intro. It goes on and on and on. Because what's one of the study, a lot of the stuff around sleep, it shows that having a wind down works, and it works for me. Not every time, but it's just more pleasant. It's something I look forward to at bedtime is my wind down routine. So that's what the intro is. Then there's support again after the intro, but before the bedtime story, so the show can be free. Then there's our bedtime story, so that'll be our episodically modular series, Make Great Pets. And that'll be about 45, 55 minutes long. And then there's thank yous at the end of the show. So that's the structure of the show. That's why I make the show. And like I said, you can adjust how you listen as you become a regular listener, but that's why it's structured like that. So some people, about 2% of people skip the intro. And then if you want ad-free episodes, like you listen all night or you just like that better, you could do that. Or if you like story-only episodes, you could support the show and get story-only episodes. Or, which is more popular than story-only episodes, are all intro episodes if you just like the intros of the show. Or you want to set up a playlist where you can listen all night long. So those are options as you become a regular listener. But as a regular listener, and for the majority of people who listen, this is what works best for them and benefits the most amount of people. So that's why the show is structured in the way it's structured. And again, if that structure doesn't work for you, there's some ways to adjust to it. But I'm so glad you're here. I work really hard. I yearn and I strive. I really appreciate you coming by. And I really hope I can help you fall asleep. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to do it for you for free twice a week. Everybody, Scoots here, and big news. We got something coming up this summer called Subscriber Summer. And if you subscribe to the show on Patreon, there's going to be extra exclusive content, $5, $10, and $20 patrons, in addition to what our most popular things are at the $10 and $20 level, all intro episodes, Fearless Flyer episodes, extra long compilations. But a lot of $5 patrons really like just listening to ad-free episodes and story-only episodes. But if you want to get in right now and you're hearing this message, we are running a sale on annual subscriptions on our Patreon, doubling the discount, 16% off annual subscription. So get in now and prepare for the Sleeper Summer, because this is a great deal. If you're already a patron, it's a great way to save money. We save money because there's a lot of credit cards that get declined in addition to credit card fees. But right now we're trying to get our Patreon back up to what it used to be during the pandemic. So be huge. So if you get a lot out of Sleep With Me, you want extra content, you want ad-free episodes, and you want to be a part of the Subscriber Summer, sign up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron, sleepwithmepodcast.com/PATRON. And you can see on that page all the perks. There's a video for the $5, the $10, and the $20 level, so you could see everything you get at that level. You get the Discord, we do office hours, but most of all, you're supporting the show that puts you to sleep on a regular basis, that you listen to all the time, and you're supporting the show for thousands of people that can't support the show. There's definitely I think there's like over 1,000 listeners for each patron. 60, I don't know. I'd have to do the math. But anyway, thank you so much. Couldn't do without you. And sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. All right, everybody, it's time for our episodically modular series. I was about to say Nuns in Space. Just so used to saying that one for some reason. But this one's called Make Great Pets. I believe, is the 8th episode, but it's episodically modular, which means that the main character is going to catch you up on pretty much everything you need to know. And each episode is part of a process. I guess it is a procedural. Rin is our main character, who they'll explain everything, but basically they're like within a pet, and the pet is helping a human at a turning point in their life make the best decision they can. But they do have the limitations of just being a pet. No offense to pets or anything. I'm just saying this isn't like it's not like it probably is like a movie you've seen, but I can't think of a movie like it, because the pets, like, it would be. They're not, what is it, like, they're not like humans, but they're not like a pet, like where you're like, oh, I'm a human, now I'm in a pet, and but I have full control, like I'm going to start dancing or talking, so that's not possible. I mean, just like our regular pets help us so much with comfort and loving looks and keeping us accountable for feeding them and walking them and petting them and moving their blankets, opening the door to the deck, then closing the door to the deck, then opening it again. Just a couple of things I get to do for my beloved dog Koa, and tuck her in at night, tell her what a great day she had, that she was so good. That is one of my favorite. That's part of my wind down routine. Petting my dog, tucking her in. The last night, sometimes I put blankets on her. Then I said, well, maybe I'll just pre-make your nest for you, because that's how it ends up in the morning anyway. So I don't know. Maybe tonight I'll put blankets on her again. Who knows? But you know what I do know? This person is they have all the qualities of a fleece blanket that you would want, and a quilt, as well as any comforting pieces of bedding, like a quilt, a weighted blanket, and a fleece blanket, and a super soft blanket, all rolled up into one bundle of joy, comforting joy. I don't have anything because sometimes I say, I guess technically I didn't think of it till I started saying I don't have any, but it's, blankets are a bit quieter. I'm no, to my knowledge, I'd say a weighted blanket, even a weighted blanket, doesn't make much noise. But it might be just the noise of the pitter-pattering within my chest and my heart when I see you, because this is our Hollywood announcer, Mr. Antonio Banderas. The ladies, the gentlemen, the boys, the girls, the friends beyond the binary. It's time to make great pets meow. Yeah. That's Mr. Antonio Banderas. I only make light of the fact that I do have high standards for Antonio of making absolutely, because he likes to hang out here in between his drive up from L.A. and his drive back down. Also, I didn't realize this because the nearest charging station is I don't have like a high-speed charger. So he has to fully charge. I didn't even know he was running on pure solar from L.A. here. On the way back, he goes to a charger at the, so I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, Antonio. But does that mean that the only reason you're spending time with me playing board games and being perfectly still when I'm recording? No. Okay, he's shaking his head no. It's just like, thank you. Thanks for at least preserving my dignity and saying you enjoy spending time with me. Because I'm trying to do this stuff, I only make it hard on you, so it won't be hard on me. And like when, I'm a complicated, he's laughing, oh man, that relaxes me so much. I take everything back about the noise about blankets because you really are a comforting blanket. And I'm sure I've called you that before, but you're like a comforting series of blankets to choose from: your smile, your eyes, your hair, your presence, your spirit, the spirit of Antonio Banderas, the best part. And this, but this one is about the spirit of pets. It's called Make Great Pets. Hey, everybody, Ren here, and this is a series of audio journals, audio journals for training purposes. And I've been trying to remember to record these as if it's your first time listening and you have no context, which would be strange. But I guess history can be strange. So if you're listening to this, I'm mostly going to be directing my message at people that are listening to this with some sort of context. But in case you've discovered these journals somehow, you'll also have you'll have a general understanding of this. Because I always meant to read that book during earthly time. I think it's like a canticle for Leibowitz or something, and it was about something about a sandwich. But I never, I held the book, I looked at the book, I think I even started it, but then I think I misplaced it and I've never reread it. But I said, is that about taking things out of context or not? I don't know. In the future. So in case you're in the future, I'll try to give you some context. And if you're part of the training program, this does help, believe it or not. I've done this a few times, and I know that going through this, explaining it helps me see more solutions than I would have seen before. Also, the fact that probably there's no solution, that was probably a misstatement, that see more possibilities of helping, and that there really isn't a solution or solving. And solving is a process. I don't know. So I'm Ren. I am, for the language I have at my thing today, a post-earthly human. They didn't give us a strict terminology, but so I lived a earthly existence. Then I moved on beyond my earthly existence to post-earthly existence, big farming, as it's, referred to. Turns out there are big farms, but I'm not a farmer. And I didn't buy any farms, hardy har. But as part of my post-earthly existence, I offered an opportunity to be a part of this program where we'll be helping people at a turning point in their lives as their pet. But that's the basics. So right now, I just finished up my first day of work, and I'm within a pet. The pet is sleeping, and I become awake and I'm able to record these. I don't exactly know, like, how it's being recorded or where, like why I can't use this like a radio system, but I'm sure it's some sort of technicality they figured out. Oh, there's like this one, like whatever, the Vegas, they said, oh, that gets saved in the vagus nerve. That's not what they said. That's just a speculation on my part. So, okay, so I'm in a pet right now that's resting. I'm working with a human. Now we'll get to all that. I just want to tell you the basics. And then I'm trying to figure out a earthbound human who's trying to navigate some turning points. And what else do you need to know? Oh, history. Who, why, when, what okay, well, maybe you're part of this program because these are supposed to be training modules. My understanding is this is a newer program. I got some basic training to prepare me to be in a pet, mind-body stuff, question asking, listening, and staying curious. And we're part of a program which some group or leadership group or whatever said, hey, what if pets could help people at turning points in their lives make the best decision they could? That would have to help them make a good choice. And you say, well, good, maybe wrong word. You're right. Thanks for pointing that out. A decision that's going to have a positive impact on them and those around them and positive reverberations. And at a turning point, and then maybe this is, usually they don't feel like gigantic turning points, but you say it is thus far. It has been after a day or two or three to be like, oh, okay, I see that they're going to make a choice here. Maybe I could help influence that choice or help them get all the information they need to make a good choice. Previous programs, now this part you might want to sit down for, but if you've ever read a comic book or watched a series or thought about it, or, read any like that there may be more than one version of Earth. And again, I'm sure that there's other quasars or quarks or whatever where this kind of stuff is going on with not like with you people that don't like say I'm a earthbound human or a post-earthly human. I realize we're not the only game in town, probably, but I'm just in this program. It's hard enough to but there was other programs they've had before this in the history of post-earthly existence, which people want to pretend has been around for forever. But let's look at the facts that I don't have. I don't know how long it's been, but they did try. Guardian Angels was one program that was very well known. Now, that worked for a while, but one thing I've become aware of is, I'm still a human. And what that means to me is that I still am not, I'm not a demigod. I mean, I may be able to somehow inhabit the subconscious of a pet if a pet has a subconscious, but it's not like I have powers or anything, or like I'm not, sometimes I still feel feelings and have my ups and downs, and I still make choices that aren't terrific. And I'm not sure if go back and forth if angels were human and then they became angels or if they were always angels. But they do have something, either humanity or something related to humanity and a close relationship with earthbound humans. And eventually it turned out that program did not work out. Through a series of choices was spurred on by the Sears Penny Bezos incidents. The first Guardian Angel program was overrided, I guess, and then they tried a not angel program for people in a post-earthly existence who had made very poor choices, and they were living out their post-earthly existence. Rolling rocks. That roll back downhill, sitting in water, not being able to drink it. They said, hey, how about you go help people on Earth? And of course they said, great, the beach rolling a rock up and down this hill. And they said, can we trust you? And they said, totally. What's the worst that could happen? And, cause they kind of knew, right? And I think that's where the eternity thing, you say, whoa, boy, they really figured that out because, they were right. What are you going to do? Send me back to what I was already doing? Oh, darn. So that did not work out. And again, I don't know how these work because not everything's clearly linear to me. There was another guardian angel program, and that one did not work out. These were all related to this Sears Bezos Penny incidences. And they kind of get, in some of the official histories, they just point the blame at them. But it was more like they were they were a variable. I don't know what the person, who was that, doctor something from Jurassic World and Park, but he would probably say they were the chaos in the soup or whatever. So now, to get here a long way, this is a new try. They say, well, people on Earth still could use a little help, a little cosmic, is that what cosmic, the cosmic thing or whatever the B-52 sang about? People aren't always shiny and happy, so let's help them navigate those things through pets. Now, it could be, this is just my speculation of the week, but I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a lot out of it. They say, maybe we should stick to the farming, Is it really, and whatever else we're doing? It's kind of like, I guess, if you went away to school and then your parents show up unannounced at your dorm room or whatever. Bad idea, right? But, parents love their kids, so I don't know. But, like the song goes, the parents, they just don't understand. So here we find ourselves. I think that's it. So I'm trying to help somebody, and so I've just finished my first day. I'm a tortoise with the name Shelly, so that's funny. Shelly the tortoise. And my human is Joey, and Joey did not leave the house very much today. I don't think that's an issue, though, because Joey was very excited and animated and pacing around, clapping, and has been editing video. And I've been watching, and very nice. I got like a warming lamp. I got a warm rock. I got a warm pad. So I got a lot of cool things I can do. And being a tortoise is pretty good. But, so Joey has been, editing video, prepping what I assume is some sort of, so it's a part of a challenge that, because I didn't really know how this stuff worked. I don't know if it's going to go out and get uploaded, for viewing, but it's a 30-day challenge, but it's not happening in real time, right? And I think Joey's trying to get all of the thing going. So this is a preparation for launch, and it's around, frugal food kind of thing. Is still those parts are still getting brainstormed. And Joey also has a mentor, friend, advisor, guru named Cynthia. And most of this has been explainers and but Joey's very excited. It seems like there's unlimited potential, and that has to be like a 30-day streak. So a lot of B-roll was that's pretty smart. I thought because it does seem like Joey's solo doing this, but with the advice of Cynthia. Oh, and so frugal actually means eating free for 3 meals a day for 30 days. Though you can, you can, I think, I don't know, this is still being brainstormed, but either with a 1 or 2 day leftover rule. So I don't know. It's it's a project that's been started, which is always good because, I get the sense that this one, part of the unlimited potential and excitement of Joey was that before this, Joey was down and not starting stuff, and the presence of Cynthia, like having a mentor and someone encouraging. It sounds like Cynthia knows a lot. And what else do you need to know? I'm a tortoise. Cynthia, Joey, who, what, where, when, why, how. That's what I usually use. Oh, just in case you're listening and like you're a trainee like me. That's kind of who, Joey, what, the sort of eating thing or food thing, frugal, free food thing. Where, what, tomorrow is a filming day. And so Joey's going out into the world. Oh, that's the other thing before bed. Joey did a lot of prep of getting all the recording stuff because it's going to be some sort of, not all the recording's going to be, some of it's going to be, stealth recording or whatever. So I guess I'm going to rest, and then I'll be back tomorrow night to tell you what's going on, okay? Okay, so hey, this is Rin, and I'm here to fill you in on Joey's first day. So I guess it was technically, this was day one of, I looked around for calendars and stuff. Maybe you don't know this, I don't have a way to, it's not like I have pet limitations. I can generally influence a tortoise, which is actually perfect for this example. Maybe if anybody's listening, put people in tortoises or turtles first, because not that turtles or tortoises go slow, but when you picture them, you picture kind of fluid, slow movement. And so it's easier to imagine your control over a tortoise because you can really only steer the tortoise or guide it. Now, I'm not huge. I'm not a giant tortoise, but I'm a big tortoise. And now the other thing is I go along with Joey because I think that's another thing. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be a star in these videos. I was on camera. And I think it could be a plus, but I'm wondering if this could be also a not plus for Joey. But anyway, not important. Other than to say, so I get pulled around. This is a common thing for pets that I didn't know about. I mean, we're in a city, a big city. Don't know which one, but maybe I'll figure it out. I don't know. But so I get pulled around in one of those foldable those things called wagons. But also, apparently there's a tortoise backpack that Joey's made. Don't know about that because I'm a tortoise. Like, I like to be, on all fours or inside my shell. And highly recommended also. So that's another reason. Being in your shell, for the most part, unless Joey was going too fast on a bumpy sidewalk, being pulled in a wagon... Being pulled in a wagon is pretty sweet. So the first place we went was, and I learned all this from the first, Joey did some video shooting before we went into the first coffee shop. And I guess this will be an ongoing thing because this is what Joey's convinced will solve getting breakfast started and coffee, is going to coffee shops. And I think this is where Joey figures having a tortoise is like a talking point, but it also will create a nearly impossible to repeat situation. Is Joey gets in line at popular coffee shops, then speculates. Did you hear to the person behind them in line? People they said somebody buys the person behind them's order. And I wonder how they do that. I hear it feels absolutely amazing. But with the intention of getting the person in front of them to buy Joey's order, which I've said, okay, well, and the first person just was smiling, and she turned around and she looked at the tortoise and laughed, and it did not work at the first stop, which Joey's a little bit, but Joey also had guaranteed I'd do 5 stops. I bet you in 5 stops, Joey had it mapped out in this neighborhood that we're in. Now, some were corporate or bigger coffee shops, and others were local coffee shops. And actually, so we did go to 5 coffee shops, and 3 of them were successful. The first one was not successful, and the 4th one were not successful. On the second one, the person paid for whatever Joey wanted. So Joey got a coffee and not a fan. This was, I said, okay, this is reasonable somewhat. I don't know. I'm trying to put aside my thought, to see this as a gray area. And I said, it's pretty inventive. But so Joey said large coffee and then a sandwich, like a breakfast sandwich. Then so that's the second one. At the third one, the person just turned and said, well, will you have to drink? So they kind of asserted a limit. And Joey said, and then like Joey's kind of a very good performer. But then they said, large coffee. Or maybe I think, no, misremembering. But Joey put in an order that was based on, what was it based on? It was based on their order. Sorry, I just a lot going on here. Then the next one was not, the person just ignored, like they were like focused. Then the next one, the line was so long that the person, 2 people in front of Joey heard it, bought the person behind them and like the next 3 people. So person in front and behind and Joey. And they said whatever they want. So Joey said, okay. So then Joey got some pastries and just plain coffee. So that will carry forward according to the rules. Okay. So that was like, then for lunch, we went to shopping center. Now, first it wasn't a success, or not a really big success, because we went to like 2 big brand grocery stores and then a TJ's and another like more shishi grocery store, and got free samples, but that wasn't very much. Then we went to a membership club, and that was a success because that was easy to go around, and there was enough stops. You say, okay, that's a reasonable lunch. And then Joey speculated that maybe later in the challenge, trying the same thing at the coffee shops at the membership warehouse. Also, like doing a free, like you check in as a future member. So, like, that also, like, Joey did not have a membership at this place. And because we are in an urban area, we're in a city, but these are, like, it's not a super, like, one of those super spread cities either. There is, because Joey's got a bunch of maps on the wall and stuff. And then this one for dinner was, and which will be a common theme because we went to 4 places, was mystery shopping. And the mystery shopping, now I guess I say is for a particular fast food place. And there was 4 different meals. So that carries us in a few days ahead because we have the 2-day thing of the 2 days of leftovers. And Joey actually even gave some food away to someone that didn't have anything to eat because, there's so much of an abundance of food as a part of, like, the plan. So, so that covered dinner, and Joey's like, okay, that covers lunch, breakfast, and lunch and dinner tomorrow. But actually, Joey's planning on so we went home. And, Joey ran some numbers and then called Cynthia, and Cynthia said, well, okay, but, So you're getting like gas from the mystery shopping. You submit your mileage, right? And okay, the mileage works out that it also pays for a couple of gallons, but on the days you're not mystery shopping, you're not going to be able to drive. So you're going to have to figure out like non-driving plans. And it has to stay in a gray area. So you can't like not like so this, I don't know, it's weird, the rules. So whatever. So that's today. Tomorrow, and again, I think this is okay. So tomorrow is going to be, Joey's going to be shooting. So again, I said, wait a second. So you're shooting day 3 on day 2 though, or parts of day 3. So this whole thing is like, or I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm confused. So I'll talk to you. Okay. Hey, it's Rin. So I was confused and I was incorrect. So yes. So it's been, I didn't record anything last night because I didn't observe anything interesting because Joey did just eat at home, 2 meals. So finished off the food from yesterday or 2 days ago for me, like 2 fast food meals and then 1, the pastries from the coffee shop. But during that day, Joey worked on trying to get, find out there's like where there's free shuttles versus public transits. Trying to find any public transit sampling things or guest passes and walkable routes. Because this coffee shop thing, I think, is like Joey's trying to find over the next 30 days. Now, one of the problems that came up, there was one place. So Joey did get coffee because obviously if you're having caffeine every day, you got to have it every day, but no other food. So that was just at independent coffee shops. But again, that starts to reduce 2 coffees, 2 just regular coffees, which then led Joey to say, there's other places they can get free coffee. So then Joey decided on off days not to use coffee shops. That was, I think, Cynthia's thing of like, isn't there places that have free coffee? Because some grocery stores do. And there's plenty of other places it might be not the coffee you want, Joey, but, okay. So then day 3 just got completed. So day 3, we went through, a lot of walking and research biking research and shuttle research. But actually there's like more like because of the there are a decent amount of shuttles here that you can use. So I don't know. Like for the time being, things between biking, walking, and shuttling. And apparently there are some 7-day passes for transit, but it is through the Tourism Bureau. So Joey's kind of looking into that and going to run it by Cynthia, or did run it by Cynthia, said I'll get back to you. So today was kind of similar in that tomorrow will be another, an actual like breakfast to lunch mystery shopping for another place. So I guess it'll be like these mystery shopping videos too. I don't know about that. But for today, we did the same thing, but we used like the same coffee shop method, but for breakfast and lunch. And actually it was like similar results. I think we went to 6 places and it was 50-50. And since it was spread out, like I think the first place we got coffee and then the other 2 places we ate, but there was like every other one. But the only thing was for the lunch one, Joey had to eat with the person that bought them lunch. So it was awkward because it was like, I could tell Joey was struggling. Should I tell the person what I'm doing or not? So I don't know. It seems like to me, and again, this is going to be hard for you maybe, or it's hard for me. So I can't speak for anybody else doing this, but for me to remove myself from this process where I'm trying to help Joey, but imagine myself as Joey but also imagine the feelings I'm having and that I'm within a tortoise. But thus far, I've just been observing. So then the next thing that happened was, and this is going to be a big thing, because there's a couple hotel sectors, I don't know what you call them, and particularly with the shuttles, because a couple of these have airport shuttles. So Joey's going to be able to, so Joey's plan would be to go to the airport hotels, go to the airport and then go to the airport hotels as part of this plan. But so there's a convention center, there's the airport, there's a downtown, and then there's like a couple business areas, all with clusters of hotels. We started in one of the downtown hotel clusters, and Joey said, this is kind of like one of the moves, and on the weekends it's going to be different than during the week. But Joey dresses very well and then goes into the hotel and strolls around and just scouts out, is there, now it's strange, like, that this is pretty relaxed, but so there's some hotels that have like appetizer and drinks for free. And because Joey's alone and has like a tortoise, and they say, you travel with your tortoise? And Joey says, yeah. Now, one place they did ask for a key. And Joey, like, that was like awkward. They said, are you a guest hotel? And they asked for the key. And then Joey said, and they said, are you a guest hotel? And Joey said, no, I had just met a friend and I figured I'd pop in here. Looks fun. And the person actually said, okay, go ahead. So that like got my turtle juice is flowing. But so, okay, so we did that. So basically that would be a plan for some of these, out of these 30 days, including like conferences, like if the door's open, I don't know about this, It's and Joey, and this is what Cynthia and Joey talk about. So what's a gray area? Like if there's a sign that says you can't go, don't go. If there's any, rules, you got to follow the rules. But, if it's an open door, and nobody says you can't walk through it and see what's through the open door. And I know there's some places like, because Joey did try to go into one conference and they said, where's your conference badge? And Joey said, I didn't have one. They said, sorry, can't let you in. So the opposite happened. But that was already after this other place. So it was like Joey didn't even need to get in there. So I don't know. I'm not feeling great about any of this. But again, I'm trying to rest with, I have another day. Tomorrow will be another, what do you call it? Mystery shopping day. So I'll just see. So I'll probably come back in 2 days and fill you in. So I'll talk to you in a bit. Hey, it's Ren again. And I don't know. Cynthia and Joey are, they had a big talk, and they, how do I know? Because they're doing it on like a Zoom or whatever, video chat, FaceTime, whatever you want to call it. And they had a big back and forth, because, Cynthia's been watching the dailies or whatever, because Joey's also editing all this, right, and putting it together. None of it's been released yet because, and which is smart, I guess. And this seems like, so really deflating, because Cynthia said, this is just not exciting. Anybody could do this. And what are you building towards? And it doesn't even seem that challenging. And Joey said, well, yeah, it's cool. And Cynthia said, yeah, but if anybody can do it, and who's going to why would they watch you do it, Joey? And Joey said, I don't know. because I'm like, it's fun. And Cynthia said, no, we got to come up with more. Like, so they started like going through ideas after ideas after ideas and still going through the plan of making sure Joey gets this to 30 days. Cause Cynthia said, we won't be able to show the mystery shopping twice. Then it's unless something interesting happens, which you can't force to happen. That's just going to be like that. You just put it up on the screen as like day 7 again. And there's no, like, we can't get any mystery shopping sponsors. I tried that. And so Joey's trying to find like places that did food testing, like, maybe I could be a flavor tester or other things. But again, you can't take food, like you can't take food intended for someone else either, is Cynthia's saying, which is say, at least Cynthia has some values. But Cynthia basically came down to like, if you want to be an entertainer, you have to entertain, Joey. And like you have to shine. So you have to find a way to do that. And I think you're close, but you're not pushing yourself enough. But also, like, then Joey kind of was like, okay, so no, keep the mystery shopping, but use those mystery shopping days. Because then again, there was another mystery shopping day combined with a day of like another day. So I guess I can see Cynthia's point, because there was a lot more of samples using that thing at the membership place of the coffee shop move, which worked. But again, you can't go back to any of these places again. So the other thing is Cynthia's like, you're going to run out and then you're just going to be doing mystery shopping and eating leftovers for mystery shopping. Because like, you can't do any repeats and maybe like on day 28, you could go back to the day 1 places. But even the hotels and stuff we're going to run out. Also, it's going to get boring. Like, we're going to have, 4 days of entertainment, like in 30 days of content. So she said, think, and come up with something spectacular. And then just kind of ended the meeting. And then what happened was Joey started going through stuff. And now now the cool thing about being a tortoise and being mobile. So Joey's going through and said, okay, like all this all Joey's old stuff, closet, this really big closet. So I don't know. Well, tomorrow's going to be what I said. So I'll update you tomorrow night. Okay, hey, it's Ren again. And I guess I finally feel like I did something. Maybe that's going to be helpful, and then maybe I could keep working on. So we spent the day going mystery shopping, and then, we did 2 different rounds for 2 different places, which again technically buys us 2.5 days. And so then Joey was kind of like not feeling great after and feeling, but then going through stuff and writing lists. And then Joey found way in the back of this closet, started pushing these boxes out. And I was even helping, open boxes with my snout. And one was pop sticks, which we'll come back to, because then Joey also went through Halloween costumes. And Joey said, this is what I was looking for. And Joey pulled out this chef's, a fancy, chef's outfit. Like you'd see a celebrity chef. I guess Joey went as a celebrity chef one year. And I said, Wiley Dufresne or Richard Blaze? I wonder which one. It wasn't a Guy Fieri one. I would have said, oh, maybe, but that one it's easier because it's got the hot rod stuff. But Joey put that aside. Then Joey started going through the kitchen and getting out pans and then now I opened this box of popsicle sticks and I saw, so it said pop sticks. I opened it up and I saw it was full of popsicle sticks, full. And actually I realized it said like box 1 of like 264. And it had like a inventory sheet on the top of it. And I said, this is curious, an entire box of popsicle sticks. And Joey grabbed a handful and like kind of was like, they were used popsicle sticks that had been rinsed. And they were all individually bagged in bags of, I guess, like 25. But Joey opened a bag and was like rubbing some sticks in Joey's hand, and then got on the thing with Cynthia and pitched Cynthia this new idea, which Cynthia loved, which I'm also involved in, that I don't love. But then I also found out a little bit about the popsicle sticks. And but basically the new idea is, and this is a pretty, old idea, so I'm not surprised that it came up, is that Joey's going to go places with me and like a frying pan, like a grocery store with me and a frying pan and some other ingredients, dressed as a chef, and then say, hey, like I could cook you a spectacular meal. Like if you have the ingredients, I'll bring the secret ingredients. And I don't know. And like making the people think they're going to have like, it's not the greatest thing to be a pet. And then say, well, what if it like, doesn't seem right either. It's like you're going to make them think they're having tortoise soup, but with the intention of them buying everything and then Joey doing the cooking. And Joey doesn't really have any secret ingredients that I know about. And Cynthia said, that's it. That's the idea. We'll have to get releases, but that'll create so much more. And we can probably, like, you'll have, like, the schedule's going to be a lot harder. But we can fill in with these mystery shopping jobs. Like maybe you'll even do more, but then like we're going to have to shoot multiple meals a day so we can get some winners. And then Joey said, okay. And then Cynthia said, what are those popsicle sticks? And Joey said, well, this this contest that I tried to win and I didn't. And Cynthia said, okay. In what contest? Let me see if it's exciting. And Joey said, well, it was like this contest when I was a kid. And it was like I never told you about it. Like, but this is a famous thing anyway. And she said, like, Punch Drunk Love. And Joey said, yeah. Or like, Dude, Where's My Pepsi? Or Pepsi, Where's My Thing? And Cynthia said, okay, I get it. Like, so there was a popsicle stick contest, and Joey said, yeah. But it was like, Joey said, Joey had found basically with these popsicle sticks, each popsicle stick was worth like a popsicle buck. But Joey said, like, because they were also testing out like this new surprise flavor pack, like it was a variety pack, but not every pack had the secret flavor in there, which was butterscotch chocolate swirl, which was not great, Joey said. But so Joey said that that one was worth like 1,000 pop bucks. And Cynthia had already stopped listening, but Joey kept talking. Cynthia, you could tell Cynthia was working on other stuff or whatever. And Joey said, I figured out like that there was a way to tell which boxes had that there was a different number on the UPC code that you could identify, and this was before the internet. So I figured out like a way to get all these popsicle bucks, and the grand prize for the person who collected the most popsicle bucks. So it wasn't like just like a cash in. You could cash them in. But whoever could show they had the most popsicle bucks got like this 2 lifetime air passes. And Joe was like, I was going to get it from me and my mom. Around the world, airline's still in business today, really big airline. And then Cynthia said, what happened? And Joey said, someone figured it out. And they had they like kind of like in that movie, they found out that they figured out the same time as me, but they had more resources and kind of like felt like they cheated because they didn't do it themselves. I was doing it myself, so I came in second, and I got 2 round trip tickets. And me and my mom, went on a trip, and that was it. And Cynthia said, okay, anyway, get back to the other stuff. But then Joey couldn't let it drop. Joey kept watching video after video of some interviews, because that was when, this is like the other thing was, it wasn't just, Joey didn't say this, but Joey did an interview, and it was the producer of the interview who was the one, the interview did not air, but it was a producer of the interview who ended up being able to do it. So I don't know, it definitely seemed like it impacted Joey, but I kept nosing through the popsicle sticks, and Joey said, you can't eat those popsicle sticks. And then I was trying to not eat them, but I don't know. I thought it was important. So I don't know. I'm going to get some rest and then see what happens. I hope that, I don't know, that I think these popsicle sticks are the answer. I don't know. Hey, it's me, Rin. So Joey stayed up all night last night, working on the popsicle sticks. And then first, Joey actually recorded a pitch for Cynthia, because Cynthia was busy all day, saying what if I burn these popsicle sticks, build a house with it, tell my story. And then Joey said no, and then turned off the camera. I was like, that's a terrible idea. But then I kept going through Joey's closet, and I found all this work Joey had done. Collecting the UPC codes, figuring out the distribution schedule, a lot of this logistics that was going into Joey's, that I was like, wait a second, Joey enjoys that part of this. It's not like this 30-day thing. There's what Joey is accelerates at, or has a, what is that called? Proficiency or aptitude for. And then there's this big golden thing at the end. I mean, for this, it was something actual tangible, where the stuff with Cynthia is more of you'll really launch things. And then Joey kept going through, and then it was going through all this other stuff. And, I didn't even have to do anything else, because then Cynthia called and said, geez, you missed our meeting. What's going on with the shoots today? And when are you going to start these, And Joey said, I don't know. I don't like the idea of, Joey said, I think I'm going to want to do something different. You're right that some of this was a little bit underhanded, because I thought it was okay because it happened to me with the popsicle sticks. Maybe I didn't tell you that, Cynthia. I'm sorry. But also, you're right, it wasn't very exciting. Other than the parts where I was playing people, it was boring. But I don't think it, for me, I don't know if that works. So I think I'm going to do something about these. And Cynthia said it's already been done twice. Punch Drunk Love and Where's My Pepsi or whatever. And Joey said, well, what about the people that almost won the contests? Or, I don't know, I think there's something there. And logistics of contests. And maybe there's even a job on that side of it that I could look into. And so I think I'm going to go to bed tonight. I don't think I'll be in this tortoise tomorrow. I think that Joey kind of figured things out just because of the sticks. And I only played with them a little bit. So this one, if you're listening and you're like, okay, it's I had to listen for a long time and wait. And also say, okay, this turning point is not the turning point. It's not a turning point for me. It's a turning point for Joey, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not sure where Joey's going. And then just helping Joey find the right thing to point Joey in another. So hopefully this works out. I think it's going to. Because at least I don't have to think about poor Joey being on YouTube or whatever saying, now I'm going to pretend to make tortoise soup, but really I'm just going to make a soup with broth and then eat it and give you stuff, but you paid for everything or whatever. I'm going to sneak into this conference. So that's, this is Ren. That's a job I did today and this week. Good night. All right, I just want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. Molly, Bird, and Jen. Thanks, and good night. Sarah, Joshua, and Danyon. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Janet, Courtney, and Sarah. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Mitchell, Jay, and Tim. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Lars, Jay, and Kirk. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Jennifer, Nathan, and Cameron. Thank you, thanks, and good night. S. Andrew, Looney, and Josh, thanks, and good night. Penny, Rainier, and Christina, thank you, thanks, and good night. Brandon, Molly, and Savannah, thank you, thanks, and good night. Jessica, Amy, and Sarah, thank you, thanks, and good night. Helen, Kelly, and Lucian, thank you, thanks, and good night. And Susie, Amber, and Laura. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks for supporting the show. Couldn't do it without all of you. I really appreciate the support. This makes this a free show because we don't have any outside funding. So it's people that support this podcast directly or support our sponsors that in turn support us. And I really appreciate being able to keep the show going for everybody. And what else? Free way to support the show that is absolutely huge is just spreading the word. So I really, really appreciate that. Couldn't do it without all of you, and thanks. And here's a Tuck You In sponsor, or Scoots. This is how we're getting up. I think we're already over 550 free episodes in the archives, or something like that. Thanks, and good night, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scooter here. Before I tuck you, or as I tuck you in, you get Sleep With Me, branded sleep phones at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep phones. Use this promo code Sleep With Me. Also, when you're hearing this between now and the end of April, we're running a 16% off on annual subscriptions on our Patreon. And you don't want to miss out. I'm not even, not only do you not get these sponsor spots where I'm asking for support, but that's how we puts one of the ways we keep the show free, but it's like, you get 4 or 5 nights of content every single week of different stuff. So you get 2 ad-free episodes that are new. They usually come out about a week before they come out to regular listeners. Then you get, what else do you get? Then 2 story-only episodes, which don't have the intros. Those are episodes that are about a month or 2 old. And some people really like those because they just build story-only playlists. If you listen all night, particularly, that's a good way to do it. I've heard is you set up a new ad-free episode and then a playlist of like 10, 20 story-only episodes. And then 10 to 20 hour patrons also get all intro episodes, all night episodes, bonus episodes. And then this summer, we're doing subscriber summer. And we'll be putting out a lot more content just out for patrons, bonus shows and stuff like that. So that'll be really cool. $5, $10, and $20 patrons will get those. So, yeah, check that out. I appreciate it. And thanks and good night, everybody.